It's about 1.75, close to 2 kilos of beautiful leg of lamb. Now I'm just gonna trim some of these excess fat, but we're not gonna throw it away. That fat is gonna create a lot of smoke. These holes, one will help the seasoning go in a bit, but we'll also use them to put some garlic. We'll use some nice extra virgin olive oil, a good glug of it. This will help the spice blare rub to stick all over our lamb. It's a personal choice how much of that spice you'll use, but I'll try to use as much as I can. This rub will help the lamb get a beautiful bark as we smoke it. We are ready for the grill. I'm gonna be putting this lamb onto the barbecue on what is called an indirect heat. An indirect way of cooking is when you do not place your meat right on the top of the heat source. And our intent now is not to cook the meat, but to smoke it. We've got a beautiful spice rub up here. That's gonna become a wonderful bark, and then we come back and cook it again. In goes the lamb. 2 hours is what this will need. I would say about an hour and a half. Those coals are gonna last that long. Let him sleep. Make sure that your vents are open. For the slaw, you need a quarter of a red cabbage and slice it thinly. This is around 200 grams of purple cabbage, regular white cabbage, cut as fine as possible. Two carrots, so that's about one large carrot or two small carrots grated. This is the recipe for onion pickle. You take 3 large onions, take off the heads. We've got to thinly slice the onions. Onions done. We're gonna add 1 green chili to it. I've just de-seeded that chili. Now we're going to season that. They go into a bowl. 1.5 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar. We'll zest a lemon and we will squeeze the juice of this lemon in there and just mix it all up. As the lemon penetrates the onions, it's going to pickle it, intensify the flavors. Half more lemon. So we used 3 large onions, 1.5 lemon. And that is our wonderful pickle ready. Now for the slaw, put them in a large bowl. The intent is to wilt all of this. About 2.5 teaspoons of salt and about 2.5 tablespoons of vinegar. And just mix it all through. The vinegar helps in breaking down the cabbage. Just make sure that the vinegar and the salt gets mixed through evenly so that it starts to wilt. And cover it with a plate and keep it aside. We're going to squeeze the water out of there. If you don't remove this moisture from your slaw, it's going to make your yogurt or your mayonnaise, whichever you use, very watery. Perfect. And that is all good to go into mayonnaise, or in our case, some yogurt. So we're gonna make the slaw. This is about 400 grams of Greek yogurt. Just mix it in. We'll probably add another 200 grams of yogurt to it. So 600 grams of thick Greek yogurt. We'll add about 2 tablespoons of chopped coriander, and that has got about 1 fresh green chili de-seeded, but chilies are optional. Don't add the salt all the way till the end, because initially we do add a lot of salt to take out the moisture, but in this case it needs more salt now. Some cracked pepper. I think you're done. We'll just mix it all in. That is a very, very fresh slaw. I have been smoking this at about 120 degrees centigrade. Let's see what's happened. Wow. There's a wonderful bark forming, but this is nowhere close to done. It'll still need to cook for at least 3 to 4 hours. I would say 4 hours. We're going to continue indirect cooking of this meat, but at this point of time, you want to introduce some liquid, because now I'm going to amp up the heat and you don't want your meat to dry out. I've got some apple juice and half of water. This is around 300, this is about 250 mils. I'm going to pour this juice on the side. I will take this off the heat now and keep it aside. I'm going to refill my coal, and yeah, let the magic continue. I've got more coal. This time, you're not just smoking the lamb, you're even cooking the lamb and slow cooking it. The grate goes back on. I'm gonna let it smoke for next 30 to 40 minutes, and then we're gonna just come back, cover it up, let it cook, and we'll make some wonderful sliders with it. Let's see how we've done. Slow cooking at its best, but now this needs to be covered so that the steam, the meat, the spices, everything comes together. So here I have got about 3 layers of aluminium foil on this. This will create a very good seal, and now we'll just let the meat cook in its own juices, and it's going to be really falling off the bone. Dinner is going to be awesome tonight. It's been cooking now for 4 hours, slow cooking. Temperature we saw it was at 90. I have got my digital thermometer. I'm going to put it right inside the lamb, and if the temperature of the lamb inside all the way to the bone is about 100 degrees centigrade, it would be cooked to perfection. That is spectacular. Let's just stick that in. It's at about 97 degrees, which is actually pretty much done. Oh, wow. That, my friends, is the color of perfection. I'm just gonna cover it back, take it inside, and let's make those sliders. Wow. A bit more of this sauce to keep it moist. It's just falling right off. That is awesome. Let's get cracking with the sandwiches. Incredible lamb goes on top. Finally, some pickled onion. The key is to eat it as soon as possible. This does take a lot of time, but if you do this a day before, this is going to be the rock star of any party that you'll ever have. It's like this wonderful symphony of smoke and spices. Bon appetit.